Hi everybody. So this is going to be a tutorial on how to do the propaganda extra credit assignment. Um, my original plan was to go over this in Class Connect. However, you will be in your exams all this week. So my idea of having you guys go over this in Class Connect. I totally was not aware of how the exam week went since I came in partway through the year. So unfortunately, I am going to be making a video instead. But to at least give you guys some clarification and instruction on what to do with that. If you have questions, I am having open office hours on Monday and Tuesday, or call me, email me, whatever. But if you have any type of questions or clarification, if you're choosing to do this assignment, remember it is extra credit. So you don't have to do it, but it is worth 25 points, and I know it will help some of you bump you to kind of that next level. So definitely think about doing it if you haven't. So with that, what I want to do is just go through, show you really quick where to find it. So it is under the Unit 6. So go ahead and click on that. And as we're looking at and waiting for that to load, one of the things that you're going to see with this is that there are several pages that will help you with this. So you're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and I'm going to have a video for a semester test, so you'll see that here in just a minute. But if you go under where the FDR speech is, there's the extra credit for the propaganda lesson. It's located right there. So as we click on that, you are going to go up, and there are lots and lots of different links for you to look at and to basically review, because a lot of what you're going to be looking at is going to be a review. But I'm going to download this so it comes into like um, a bigger view for you. Okay, so the directions for this are pretty simple. There's going to be 4 steps, so these first 4 steps. So what you're going to do is you're going to create your own political or advertisement propaganda poster. So it's an actual picture poster with words. So the first thing that you're going to do is in this poster, you have to have one rhetorical appeal. You have to have one rhetorical device. And again, remember, rhetorical appeal, we talked about what ethos, pathos, and logos are. And some of the information that's also connected to this, you're going to have a reminder of what those things are if you don't remember. Rhetorical devices. So there's a list here of rhetorical devices. This is just a small list. There's way more in the glossary that's provided for you as well. At least one logical fallacy. This is something that we have not covered in class. So this is something that you're going to kind of have to look at on your own and do a little self-teaching. I am going to cover it here in this video very quickly, but you're going to want to look at that. And then also propaganda technique, which also is in your class, and that we have not covered in great detail. So those are the 4 things that you need to have in your project. Some of the other information, you can obviously want to pay attention to whatever graphics or pictures you're using, word choice, colors, things like that. You are going to have your advertisement, and then on the second slide, you have to label everything that you do. So, for example, if you put a picture up and it's explaining ethos, then you have to say, okay, this picture is my number one, it's my ethos. If you have a statement and your statement is using a rhetorical device, if you're using a metaphor, then you need to say, okay, this is my number 2, this is my metaphor that I'm using. Everything has to be labeled. Please pay special attention to this. You must have a second slide explaining choices 1 through 4. If you do not, you will not receive credit for the assignment. So the reason for this is I can't guess at what your number two is. Like if it's supposed to be allusion or a metaphor, you need to tell me which one of those it is. You need to tell me if number one, if you're adding up some type of pathos, ethos, or logos. I need to know what you're adding into those pictures, okay, or into your advertisement. So you have to label those. So very specifically, you will not receive credit if you do not have a second slide labeling all of your slide one information. Okay, want to reiterate that so you know. Refer to lesson 6 if you or unit 6 if you need help. And then this is due by Wednesday the 19th, but it's extra credit, so it's not going to count against you. But you will have until the 20th to turn it in. The 20th, I believe, if we look at this, scroll down. The 20th is the cutoff date for this assignment. Okay, so there you have that information. So some ideas, you have your political poster, like anti something, pro something, or a product advertisement, any product you like. So if there's something like if you love Kit Kat bars, then make an advertisement for Kit Kat bars and then use these things up here that we're talking about. Okay, so real quick, we're going to go back to the lesson. And like I said, there are a few things that are going to be reviewed for you that we've touched on quite a bit. And then there's going to be a few things that are going to be kind of new for you. So I'm not going to really touch on what we're reviewing. But rhetoric review, sorry, we've discussed that quite a bit in class. So that's ethos, logos, pathos, and that's also the rhetorical devices like alliteration, personification. We've discussed that a lot. So just know that there is a PowerPoint here with a review for you to kind of refresh your memory and give you some ideas. The propaganda lesson, we have not really covered that. So I'm going to open this really quick. So the propaganda lesson and what we're looking at here is just different propaganda ideas. So, and I'm going to open it up because it's in a PowerPoint. So if you're doing the viewpoint, it's going to look kind of crazy. So opening up in a PowerPoint real quick. And what this is going to talk about are the different types of propaganda. So this is going to be a thing for you to use. I'm only going to touch on a couple of these because you can go through, but there's examples in here. So like bandwagoning, which a lot of you may have heard. So like when a team is doing really well in sports, so let's say the Cincinnati Bengals, all of a sudden are going to the Super Bowl. Then you see all of these Cincinnati Bengals fans. So they're all jumping on the bandwagon because they want to ride on the excitement of that winning team, right? So that's bandwagoning. And then there's some examples here. Loaded words are things with like positive images. So like here you have Barack Obama and the word hope. So that's a loaded word. So that's what they're referring to there. So you have whitening expressions for crest, irresistible scent for gain. Testimonial obviously is when like a celebrity or a public figure endorses something. So if you wanted to do, like I said, something about Kit Kat bars, a testimonial could be like Justin Bieber loves Kit Kat bars, so he could be endorsing that. So that would be something that would be a testimonial. So, and then there's a few more on here. There's name calling, plain folks. But bandwagoning, those different things are pretty easy concept to understand. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but this is one of the 4 things that you need, right? So you need the ethos, pathos, logos. You need a rhetorical device. And then you need one of these. You need a propaganda technique. Then the other thing you need, and I'm going to pause this for just a second. All right, and then the other thing that you need is the logical fallacies, which we have not really covered in class, and this is a little bit of a difficult concept to understand, but you're going to click on that and then it'll open the PowerPoint. I paused it because it takes a while to go through all of those and load all of that. So basically so you're going to look through the PowerPoint and there's going to be a few different examples of what logical fallacies are. So basically a logical fallacy is just a mistaken reasoning, a flawed argument used to win a debate or a distraction from the actual argument or a foundational weakness in reasoning. So for example, here are some logical fallacies. So one is called ad hominem. So basically what ad hominem is attacking a person or their character rather than their argument or reasoning. So there's examples in here. So basically it's not being very nice. But so like if you're looking on here, so if this flag offends you, it's because your team sucks. So basically what it's saying is that the only reason that this flag would offend you is because you're jealous of Notre Dame, basically. So that's an example of ad hominem. So there's some other examples here that you can look at. And then there's also appeal to fear. So appeal to fear is attempting to create support for an idea using deception and propaganda in attempts to increase fear and prejudice toward the competition. So basically, um, meth, like we obviously know methamphetamine, that's bad, but it's saying you'll never have to worry about lipstick on your teeth again. If you continue to use drugs, this is what you're going to end up looking at like. Drunk driving. So this is just things to make you feel like, oh, yeah, if you drink and drive, this is what you can do to someone, right? So those are the kind of different the concepts. So black and white or either or, basically it means like one way or the other. So suggesting that only two options exist when in reality there are several options. So either you're with us or against us. Would you rather see a rat live or a child live? So those are just the different things that there are. So, and then faulty analogy. So a faulty analogy, is assuming that because two things are alike in one respect, they are alike in all respects. So if you're looking at this, you can look at gun control as like reducing drunk driving, making it together for sober people to own cars. So they're kind of doing the same thing. They're saying here, they're like, well, if gun control is the same as driving drunk, then, you know, it would be, you wouldn't be able to own a car, right? So it would be saying the same thing as if you owned a gun, then, because people don't, they're trying to control guns. So it would be the same thing as if you owned a car, it would be hard for you to own a car too because of the possibility of someone killing someone while drinking and driving, that type of thing. So that's the kind of the concept you're looking at. So there are a few others in here which you can read through. I'm not going to go through all of them because I don't have time on this video because I only have 15 minutes. So, but you can go through those. So you need to make sure in your presentation or in your propaganda poster that you have at least one of these, right? So you need at least one of these. And then you also need to have at least one propaganda technique. So you're going to really want to use these two PowerPoints. And then after that, you're going to want to make sure that you have the rhetorical review PowerPoint open. So I'm going to pause again. All right, so you're gonna want to make sure you have this rhetorical review open. And so in the review, you have the first part of that assignment. So you need to have your rhetorical strategy, right? Or your rhetorical appeal. So that is one of these three things. So the ethos, pathos, and logos. So that's number one. You need one of those. Then as we go down, to that, it gives you, remember, it gives you your examples, which we've discovered or discussed this in our Class Connect sessions. And then you can look through this, and then it goes into the rhetorical devices. So this is going to be, rhetorical devices are probably going to be more towards your wording, where you can use a metaphor, or you can use an illusion, or you can use an oxymoron, or you can use personification or verbal irony. So those are going to be probably more your words that you're putting inside there. So if you have questions, please let me know. Come to my open office, email me, call me. I know that we're kind of like at the last minute with this. I really wanted to cover this on Monday, but that did not happen. So the video is the next best thing. So just please be sure to contact me if you need help. So, all right. Thanks, guys.